YouTube. What is crack-a-lackin'? It is Scott from SemiPro here, aka Tony Montana, aka Phillip Rivers' 10th kid, and today we are talking about the two top prospects in the 2021 NFL draft class, Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. Now, the 2021 NFL Draft is looking like it is going to be a story of the two quarterbacks. Now, granted, last year at this time, we had no clue Joe Burrow would skyrocket up boards, so things are subject to change, but right now it is looking like a lock that Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence will be the first two guys off the board. Both were highly touted prospects who now play for blue blood programs. They are on the national stage all the time, and people get to see what these guys are really about. And with the pair dueling against each other in the college football playoff last season, they constantly get compared. There was a time where it seemed like a lock that Lawrence would be the #1 overall pick whenever he came out, but Fields quickly caught up last season, and this is shaping up to be a memorable race for the #1 pick. In this video, we are going to take a step back and try to compare these guys as prospects and try to figure out who should be that #1 overall pick. Let's start with Justin Fields. Justin played in his first season with Ohio State last season after transferring from Georgia. A highly touted recruit, he kind of fell off the map after not getting a fair shot at Georgia, but quickly made people remember his name at Ohio State. He put up really nice numbers in his first year as a starter, throwing for 3,200 yards, 41 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and even ran for 484 yards and 10 touchdowns. He is a really nice dual threat QB who can do a lot of things. He is no transformative runner like a Cam Newton or Lamar Jackson, but he is big and physical and can use his athleticism to make things happen on his feet. That is a big draw of Fields, as the NFL seems to be shifting towards a more dual threat style of QB. With his running ability comes a great skill of his, the ability to improvise, which is my biggest love about Fields. This is a huge thing I look for in QBs because the ability to improvise means you can work around bad O-lines, work around bad receivers, and make things happen when no one else is going to help you out. He does an exceptional job throwing on the run, especially with bootlegs. He doesn't always need a perfect pocket or a wide open receiver in order to make things happen, which a lot of college QBs can't do. He can go out there and make that play himself. That said, as I'm sure you'll notice in the highlights running over this video, he was blessed with a lot of wide open passes, which is fine as you can't blame the guy for taking what is available, but it would be nice to see more of him going and making that play himself. At 6'3", 225 pounds, Fields does have really good size, but could benefit from just adding a bit of weight. I see him operating best as a big, imposing QB who can use that frame to his advantage both in the pocket and on the run. Normally, the quote-unquote franchise QB size threshold in the NFL is 6'2", and Fields more than meets that with his weight and height combined. With that size comes really good arm strength. It isn't Mahomes or Josh Allen level, but he has a big load up which helps him zip the ball quickly and accurately into tight windows. He can make all the throws thanks to that. According to PFF, his average target was 12.6 yards downfield, which is the highest among returning Power 5 QBs, so we know he can run an explosive, pro-style offense in the NFL. He does not have a glaring weakness as a thrower. He has a wide skill set, doesn't throw picks, and can run an offense. As I mentioned, his arm strength and accuracy pretty much allow him to do what he wants. But that said, there is one main area that I want to see improvement on for this season. Fields mainly operates out of the shotgun, which is fine, I have no problem with that, but when he goes under center, he doesn't look nearly as comfortable, which will have to change in order for him to succeed in most NFL offenses. His total awareness and football IQ in that area needs to improve a bit. But NFL offenses are running the shotgun more and more now, so if that is what he likes, so be it. As far as an NFL comparison, I see him as a Russell Wilson-Carson Wentz hybrid. He has that same presence about him as Wilson, being able to move around and make weird throws all day long, and that same like for taking risks as an improviser like Carson, as well as that big body. Alright, now Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence caught the attention of everyone in 2018 when he led Clemson to a national championship. He was viewed as a lock for the first pick when he came out, and for good reason. He shows beyond his years maturity, great leadership skills, and the ability to do it all with his arm. At 6'6", 220, Lawrence has all of the size you want in an NFL QB, although like Fields could use some extra poundage to be sturdy for the next level. His physical gifts don't stop there though, as he is an underrated athlete and has tons of arm talent, like tons. Like Fields, there is nothing as a thrower that he can't do. Everything about his game should translate to the NFL level. One of my favorite parts about Lawrence are his subtleties. He has a great ability to make subtle moves in the pocket, allowing for more time and tricking defenses. From his pump fakes to his half ticks, Lawrence has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, which really set him apart from a lot of other QBs. His ball placement is the other thing in his game that makes him awesome. He does an exceptional job leading receivers and putting the ball in the exact right place at all levels of the field. He completed 66% of his passes last season and is always extremely accurate, regardless of if it's short, intermediate, or deep routes. The ball always finds the right place with him. He did develop a concerning trait last season though, becoming a bit more interception prone. He threw double the amount he did in his freshman year, throwing around the same number of passes and same yards per attempt. It wasn't a huge problem though, and he is still deadly accurate. He is also an underrated athlete. He isn't viewed as your typical dual threat QB by most, but I would argue otherwise. He actually rushed for more yards than Fields last year with 500, and that is the extra facet of his game that allowed Clemson to do stuff like read options and keepers, which you can absolutely translate into the NFL. He is no dynamic athlete by any means, but his size and decent speed allow for him to be a threat to tuck and run the ball, which is awesome. QBs like Aaron Rodgers, Dak Prescott, and Patrick Mahomes, who may not be exceptional runners, use their subtle skills to create more opportunities for themselves, and Lawrence can do the exact same thing. He is as tough as nails too, and isn't afraid to lower his shoulder or take hits. Granted, that probably isn't what you want him doing in the NFL, but it's good to know that he is tough and durable from what we have seen. One red flag with Lawrence is just what he had to work with at Clemson. It is hard to hold a guy's team against him, but Lawrence had some of the best receivers in the country who were always open even when they weren't. If Trevor goes to a team without great skill players, one has to wonder how he will adjust after being spoiled with them for 3 years at Clemson. He has been really reliant on them and tends to go with his first read. He has a high football IQ and can make good reads, but oftentimes it just seems like he knows where he's gonna throw it before he even does, which, like, again, it is hard to blame him because those receivers are great and can do anything, but that is a bad habit to take into the NFL. His improv skills are good, but nowhere near Fields. He can still make plays off script, but just doesn't have that same pizzazz, which is fine because it isn't his game. He makes up for it in a lot of other categories. He is still serviceable in that department and better than many QBs in that facet that have found NFL success. Lawrence quote-unquote struggled last season with 3,600 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions while rushing for 560 yards and 9 touchdowns. If that is struggling, I will take it any day of the week, and I love Lawrence as a prospect. I just don't think he is as NFL ready as advertised, and I have concerns about his ability to make reads and adapt to not always having two of the best receivers on his side at all times. I compare him to an Aaron Rodgers as a guy who can do it all with his arm, but has the ability to run it and stretch plays when he needs to. Alright, the verdict. I would be remiss if I didn't say Lawrence was the better prospect here. His arm talent is off the charts, and he has great poise. He's exactly what you want in an NFL QB, and in my opinion is a pretty safe pick as long as he goes to a team that fits. That said, my personal taste favors Fields. He doesn't have that same arm talent, but is still great in that department and can combine it with elite improv ability. But he is more of a risk than Lawrence because he doesn't have all of those same NFL traits. But yeah, overall, Lawrence should be the first overall pick right now. This is subject to change as there is a full season of college football to play, and both guys are poised to have great seasons, but Lawrence is a great QB prospect who should find a lot of success in the NFL. If you made it this far in the video, click that thumbs up button. It really does help us out a lot, and if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We post really dope sports content here at SemiPro every single day. NFL, NBA, MLB, college sports, anything sports related, we have here. We also have a website, multiple podcasts. We are the next big thing in sports media. Thank you for watching and have a blessed rest of your day.